Hello. Hi friends. Welcome to Machine Learning Journey. So this channel I created to share content or my learnings, whatever I go through in the journey of machine learning or deep learning. So in this lecture, I will try to explain introduction part of machine learning, where it comes from, why it is needed, and what its the main or goal of creating AI or ML or deep learning, all the stuffs. So with introduction, the very fundamental things of AI is or objective is you need to create a system which can perform a human level intelligence or mimic the human level intelligence and perform some tasks same as humans do. For example, if you want to identify a image, if you have an image and identify whether it is a cat or dog, you need human. So if I ask you, you will process it by looking at cat and see how it looks first at first glance. Then you will identify eyes, nose, or ears, and then you will classify. So you use your intelligence or learning of the past, then identify whether it is a cat or dog. The same, we need to create some system or algorithm which can learn and then identify whether it is a cat or dog. So starting from AI, so AI, every AI don't need any learning. For example, in the past, there used to be a rule-based systems. So first one is rule-based systems. What kind of system it is? Like if you have some parameters, let's say doctor identifies some patients as a fever temperature and cough, let's say cough is there or not, that also doctors identifies. So it makes the rules that if cough is there, the first parameter is cough and second is fever. So if doctor says that if cough is there and fever is also there, so we will make a rule that if cough and fever both occurs together, we will say it is a flu. So this is a small systems, okay, which classify whether flu is there or not. So now this is a rule-based system. It is AI. Okay. Now, if this rules explodes and it becomes very complex, for example, identifying this image of cat and dog, and how will you make the rules? Or if rules are very in high in the count, for example, in the chessboard, if you have chessboard and you want to make some decisions, so if you want to make a decision for a particular move, there may be n number of possibilities, and after each n possibilities there can be more possibilities. So this rules explodes, so you can't write down all the rules. So there comes to the picture of machine learning, where you teach the system to learn from historical data or past data and make prediction in the upcoming unseen data. So now we will understand about we have understood about AI, which is a rule-based system. Now, ML, which is a subset of AI, the basic meaning is it learns from data, and then predict on unseen data. Unseen data. This is what machine learning is. So this learning can be based on mathematics, stats, statistical learning. All the things comes here. Now the thing is, where comes deep learning? So in the deep learning, mainly the same things follows, but instead of maths or statistics, we used particularly neural networks. Neural networks as in a weights. It's it's very similar to human brain, which has its neurons. Same as in the deep learning, you created a different layers of neurons, and each neuron is represented by a weight. Weight is a some numerical representation. For example, if I say y is the output and it is represented, its input takes two input x1 and x2. So for each input there is some weight w1 and x1 plus w x2. This is a simple linear equation. There can be very complex equation also. So there here our learning is we need to learn or we need to identify correct value of W1 and W2. That's how deep learning comes. Now there is only two weights are there. What if there are billions of weights are there? That's how the this thing comes into our picture of GPT models. We say 3 billion parameters, 4 billion parameters. That parameter is basically neurons or weights values basically. Now we will understand about generative AI. Gen AI. Gen AI is basically generating task. For example, if it is a text based, then you give some words. Let's say words. This is words. Word one, word two, word three. On the basis of three words, it tries to predict the next word and generates the complete sentence. When you say ChatGPT hi, then it greets you with hi, your name. Let's say Mayank. How are you? So it completes the sentence. When you ask about something, what is photosynthesis? Then it completes this. Photosynthesis is a process of like this. So it is a generation task. Same as in the generation, there comes an image also. Create an image of cat. You give the prompt. So that given prompt, it tries to generate the image of cat on the basis of learning. So this is all generative AI. So the bigger thing is AI. Then comes ML. DL is a subset of ML, and here it comes DL and then generative AI. Okay, so this is all the hierarchy is just a basic idea. Uh, Now we will understand why it is needed. Okay, initially I discussed about exploring the rules and uh, you have n number of rules and you can't handwritten all the rules for the complex task. So you try to figure out the rules or patterns from the data itself. So you have data. In the data itself, you have input, you have output. So you know the input, you know the output, but you don't know the relation or pattern between them. To figure out the pattern with these two values, this is what machine learning is. You try to give some learning to a machine. Machine is a weights or numerical representation or a complex equation. You try to figure out what equation it fits well. For example, let's say you have a one equation or one graph which represents x like this. Let's say it's an equation and this gives some input x and y is output and x is the input and it takes it like this. So it is a complex equation with the data you have for each x points you have corresponding y points. You have one table. Okay. Now you want to figure out this equation, what the equation it will be to represent this data. So there the machine learning comes into the picture where you have a data and you try to figure out the algorithm. Now, what we will try to understand is, for example, examples. What are the examples in our surrounding? For example, ChatGPT or Gemini, Claude, all are LLMs, large language models, which takes the text and then it can try to predict the next token and then it completes the sentence. There are multimodal LLM also, which takes the input also as an image and text. So that is a multimodality. In self-driving cars are there. In your email, the spam classification, where there's a email is a spam or not. You just the algorithm tries to classify it, and these are all the examples of real-world AI. Now, In the next lecture, we will try to understand about the data, types of the data are there, structured format, unstructured format, and we will also try to figure out how important the data is and how important the quality of data, coverage of the data, everything related to data to make a good system. So thank you for listening, and I will try to upload the next lecture as soon as possible. Yes. Thank you.